And if you could go down, I'm just going to read the translation first, if that's okay.
Oh, yes. Good. Yes, please. Go for it.
O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold onto your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy associations. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant, running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Saga, Edase Kurunda Kuri. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Saga, Edase Kurunda Kuri. Diya Pada Cha, Shuddha He Ama,
Sorry, Atma, you keep breaking up.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
Let me try again.
Okay.
Let me try then without the kartals and see if that works. I don't know if it's the kartals that's too loud. Oh, I'll just see. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakur, Dayara Saga, Edase Karuna Kori. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Saga. Oh, I see. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
No problem at all. Thank you also, Radhika, for joining us. Normally on Ekadasi, Radhika very kindly recites the Vishnu Sahasranam. So I was hoping that we would be able to do that later on. Radhika, if it's okay, if we can do that a little bit later on, if that's okay with you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, that's fine, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining, Radhika.
Was it better when I sang just now? Was it still a problem?
It was better.
It was better? Okay, let me just try that then. Okay, so sorry about that.
It's
Zoom
okay.
technology problems. Okay. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Saga, Edase Karuna Kori. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Saga, Edase Karuna Kori. Diya Pada Cha, Shuddha He Ama, Tara Cha. Diya Pada Cha, Shuddha He Chara. Chaya Vegadami, Chaya Doshashu, Chaya Guna Devudase Chaya Begadomi Chaya Doshashodhi Chaya Guna Devudase Chaya Satsa Deho Hera Shechi Sangera Chaya Satsa Deho Hera Shechi Sangera Se Ekaki Amara Nahi Paya Bala Naam Sankirtane Ekaki Amara Nahi Paya Bala Naam Sankirtane Tumi Kripa Shraddha Bindra Deho Krishna Radha Tumi Kripa Shraddha Bindra Deho Krishna Namadha Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro Shakti aache Krishna se tom Krishna dite paro Jara Shakti aache Amita Ganga Krishna Krishna Bhakti Dai Tava Panchi Amita Ganga Krishna Krishna Bhakti Dai Tava Panchi Oh Hey Vaishnava Dayada Saga Gita Se Kuru Akuri Oh Hey Vaishnava Dayada Saga Gita Se Kuru Akuri Padacha Shodo Hera Tomara Chara Hiya Padacha Shodo Hera Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Excuse me.
Rama Hare Rama Rama Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnav 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 Thakur Jaya Jaya Guru Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Srila Guru Maharaj ki. Jai.
Thank you, Atma. It's very, very nice to hear you. It was a little, it kept breaking up, but so nice even then to hear your voice.
So sorry. I don't know how to correct that. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
what the problem. Maybe I should have tried with my headphones. I'm not sure if that would have been better.
Maybe later you can,
Sure.
we can read the translation. This is such an amazing bhajan because many new viewers joined. O Venerable Vaishnava, Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my six passions, rectify my six faults. Bestow upon me the six qualities and offer unto me the six kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. So today we are celebrating the appearance of His Holiness Krishna Swami Maharaj. And just, I know there are a few new devotees in the group who've joined. So I just wanted to give an idea. This is His Holiness Krishna Swami. So we got a number of pictures which we just going through. It's an auto, it keeps changing every few seconds. So I wanted to, we'll play this a little bit later on. I wanted to introduce a few of the devotees. Trikalajna Prabhu, he has joined us all the way from Vrindavan. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have your association. I think of everybody, Trikalajna Prabhu will have known Guru Maharaj the longest. Over 40, maybe 45 years?
45 years, yeah. 45, 46.
46, my goodness. Extraordinary. So I wanted to ask Trikalajna Prabhu to give us your, your realizations about Guru Maharaj, your past, some of the pastimes. It is a little late in Vrindavan, 8:30, or nearly 9 o'clock actually, in the evening. And it's very hot, I hear, I understand. Delhi was...
Very hot. It's been 50, 51, 52. Then we have rainstorms, windstorms, no electricity for 8 hours, 12 hours.
Oh, really? Wow.
Talk about tapasya. Come and experience it firsthand. But somehow or another, Radharani is so mercy, you just tolerate it naturally. It's just part of life, No one complains. Even people are, you see, when you go out on the streets, people are sleeping on the streets, people living on the streets. They don't have a fan, they don't have AC, they don't have a roof. And, when you see that, then you think, well, actually, I'm so much better off. I should not be complaining.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, no, very true. Thank you. We also have Radhika on the call. Now, normally on Ekadasi, we chant the Vishnu Sahasranam. So we wanted to actually do that a bit later on. And also our favorite Karuna Bandar is with us. And she every day, pretty much, she comes and sings different bhajans from the six areas. And we wanted her to also sing. And wanted also to give opportunity to any of the devotees who would like to share their experiences of Guru Maharaj. Normally on His Appearance Day, we would hold a Vyas Puja face to face, and devotees would, read their offerings, recommit themselves, I suppose, to Guru Maharaj. So this is an opportunity where that can also happen. So we would like to encourage, especially devotees like Madhu Mangal and Narayan Prabhu. You can unmute Mangala. So many devotees who've come and joined, and you can share your experiences, you can do your realizations, and anything you like to say. But let's start with Trikalajna Prabhu because it's a little late in Vrindavan, and we like to hear him and his pastimes with Guru Maharaj. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My obeisances, humble obeisances to all of you present. Also, my obeisances to Radha Govindji, Radha Shyam Sundar, unlimited names of Radharani and Krishna here in Vrindavan. There's like more than 5,000 temples. I feel very fortunate that by the mercy of Guru Maharaj that I'm here today. I say that basically because when I first met him, it was at Bhaktivedanta Menon. I say he's my first impression. You see Krishnadas Maharaj is like tall person, very heavy built, like a warrior, and he was truly a warrior, And I think, wow, look at that, me and my wife were walking into the Bhaktivedanta Menon. He was standing in the corridor. So first thing I'm seeing him is like a unique soldier, and he's effulgent because he's in his saffron clothes. And then as we get close to him, he says to me, "Beta, kahan se ho?" Like he immediately took me like off my feet by calling me beta, It's a very personal thing. The way he just touched my heart by saying beta kahan se ho. Then he asked me what is my name. Again he said, "Beta, tumhara naam kya hai?" It was like he'd known me for many lifetimes. And then he turned to my wife and said, "Betty, tumhara naam kya hai?" So at that time we were not initiated. We were just like practically the first time visitors at Bhaktivedanta Menon, and he's standing in the corridor. So that was very touching for us, for both of us, because in those days, life was pretty difficult in England also, very challenging. I had lost my father when I was only 2 years old, so I never knew what it was like to have a father. But for somebody to call me beta and, for me to suddenly click with him like he's my father was a very, very touching moment. It was like the first thing that made me feel I belong here, I belong here at the temple. I belong to, Krishnadas Maharaj and Radha Gokulananda like that, So that very first impression was very deeply embedded in me. It's still there, and it's a long-lasting impression. Then, as time went on, I think so in 86, in 85, towards the end of 85, he said, we were discussing, and he said, I go to India every year, and I do full Bharatwas Parikrama in 5 weeks. And it's difficult for me to comprehend that anyone could go all over India and do a parikrama in 5 weeks. So, and then I was just like naturally questioning, and they said, why don't you both also come along? It was just like, why don't you both come along? And our first thought was, wow, that will be really great. But how do we convince the authorities that we can go? And he could tell from the expression. He said, don't worry, you just tell them you're going with me. And in those 5 weeks, he showed that we can do parikrama of Bharatvarsh, And the way we were doing is that, because he'd been doing it for many years, we would be sleeping practically every night in the train. And when we would get to our destination in the morning, first thing we would go is to the tourist quota and book the next train for the same day at night. And then in the daytime, he would take us to the place of pilgrimage. And he had so much in-depth knowledge, it's just like when we go to holy places, we see the temples and we pay obeisances and everything. That is the standard thing. but he would tell us in depth the pastimes of, the Leela performed by the devotees and the Lord himself. And then he would say, so what is your take? Like he would ask a question. So what is your take? So he was implanting to us that coming here and just taking darshan is just a very preliminary thing. What is important is to understand the pastimes. What was the moral behind the pastime? And then how and what you can implement from that particular pastime in your life so that you can progress in your bhakti, So it was very interesting how, it was practically that he took us all over India in 5 weeks. Of course, there were many challenges, but regardless of the challenge, we never felt, because this is the first time I had come out of India. I mean, out of London. I had never been to India before that. I was 36, my wife was 32. So she was born in India, I was born in Kenya, so I'd never been to India. So it was like entering another planetary system. For me, it was very much like that. But because Maharaj was with us, and he was our kind of carrier. He was like our Senapati. We never felt anything. It's only when sometimes when I sit back and think, wow, we really did that? Was that really possible? Yeah, it happened. He made it happen because he was and is and will always be our guru, because he knew how to, take us around. It's like Krishna says, Jnana Dipena Kunteya, that Krishna says that he carries the light or the shining lamp with which he destroys our ignorance and shows us the path, So for me, personally, Maharaj was like that. Guru Maharaj was like every time anything, small thing, big thing, he could immediately read what's going on in my mind, and he would say many things. And, inevitably, with time, the faith develops, because you see whatever Guru is saying is coming true, in so many different ways, it's coming true. And it was very, very interesting. My experiences with him traveling to India. One time in 1982, I was called into the office, and that time Bhagwan was leading the yatra, and there was all the devotees were sitting there, and Maharaj was sitting there, and they said, now we have to go to the courts and public inquiry to save the temple from opening. So we've chosen that, you will lead the campaign, So at that time, I had no political experience. I had no other experience of fighting a government. It was like immediately my whole system froze that I have to be the leader to fight the British government, And I looked at him, and one look from him to me was like, say yes, you're going to be fine and you're going to lead this, It was just like so comforting that suddenly I came out of my statue and I felt so comfortable. I just felt like I was in my father's lap. He's saying, it's okay, you're going to be fine, Then afterwards, we were in his room upstairs and we were discussing, and he was saying, never think you are the doer. If a group of devotees give you some very important service to take, and it's a service that's going to help save the man, in this case, he encouraged me in so many different ways that I felt, yeah, actually, I can do this. Why not? I mean, I have the blessings. His thing was, have faith in Radha Gokulananda. Have faith in Radha Gokulananda. Always. Almost every statement, he would talk like this, Have faith in Prabhupada, have faith in Radha Gokulananda. So that really helped me in helping to take on the Battle of Britain, that time. And literally, I would meet him in the morning before I would leave, because campaign involved a lot of running around. I would call him on the phone, on the landline, wherever I could, whosoever office I could, because there's no cell phones. I would come back at night, and before I would go to my residence, I would pick up my wife. He would meet with Maharaj, discuss with him, tell him everything that had happened. And then only next morning, I would come and meet with the admin staff or the president and tell them what I'd done the day. But it was, for me, he was the guide. He was like, Bhisma Pita for me, frankly. He was always guiding in every possible way. Even when I went to India for campaign, Nepal for campaign, literally every day we were talking twice a day, and I would report to him and he would tell me what to do next. So he would encourage me in such a way that I felt like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It will happen. And for sure, 10, 11 years later, we won the battle and we got our own road, and Bhaktivedanta is flourishing today. But that very first moment and an exchange of eyes and him telling me that, like, just take it because it's going to be okay. It's going to happen. One time we were driving, I was Maharaj's Sarthi. That was my great fortune, to be honest. Driving to Coventry, Birmingham, Leicester, South London, East London, even sometimes to Scotland and Wales, occasionally. So he would just say, sing those prayers. And one time I finished singing Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Daya Karo Mori. And then he started preaching, and then he said, one day, he said, you are eligible to become the president of Bhaktivedanta Manor. And I was very young, and I was thinking, no, that's not going to happen. Like, you wouldn't think that, like, you would become a president of the temple because you are still kind of very neophyte. But when I finished constructing the Delhi temple, it was true. The National Council had appointed me as the president for Bhaktivedanta Manor. And at that time, when that letter came from the National Council, it said that they had offered me the regional secretarial post and the presidential post. So I had said, I'll take the post as a president at Bhaktivedanta Manor because my children were only 2, 4, and 6, 2, 4, and 10. Sorry, it'd be very difficult to run up and down the country as a regional secretary. And when that letter came that, yes, we had a meeting in the National Council and you have been appointed to be the Bhaktivedanta Manor president from October 1997. My first thought was, he told me you're eligible, you can become the Manor president, and it was really touching. Even now, sometimes I think, although I never went into that post because 10 days before I was to take that post, I had a call from 3 GBCs, including the chairman, saying that if Prabhupada was here, he would send you to Washington because Washington is on the verge of closing down. So we only had 4 months to close down, if we didn't pay them the money in time. And again, at that time, I felt Maharaj always encouraged me that if something challenging came, you just take it up because Krishna wants you to, be part of that. So that even today, if I go through challenges in different forms, I just feel like many times we discussed, so many things I'll say, no, we got more doors opening up, we don't think one door is closed, therefore we should feel down. We should feel like Krishna wants us something bigger and better and nicer, and he wants to give us realization. He wants to put us through some tapasya so that we can purify ourselves even more and become more advanced in our spiritual life. So that one thing is always with me, and it's with me because of him, Without any doubt, he implanted so many elements into my system, into my brain, into my functions, that like he helped me to have developed that faith, in Guru Parampara and Krishna like that. And the book that I've written, Faith to Success, is all based on the fact that Guru Maharaj implanted that faith in me. He implanted the faith that it is the faith that you will have is going to carry you. It's not your ego that, hey, listen, I've got this post. Hey, listen, these people have selected me, Always, see, Maharaj was very compassionate. But when he needed to, he could be like a thunderbolt, And in between, he was everything to you. He was your father. He was your best friend. He was your best in every way, guide, And he could always see your shortcomings. Incredible. He could see shortcomings, and he would just point them out straight away. He would not hesitate at all. So, like, in that respect, he was really a true sannyasi, because sannyasi is meant to cut through all these ties and knots that actually bound you and keep you behind in making advancement in your spiritual life, I'll be honest, first time after I joined ISKCON in 79, 2 months later, I felt it's not going to work. This is not going to work. And so we met with him, and he literally spent 2 hours with us. And that's when he started implanting that faith in us. And he said, look, Bhisma Pupita had so many challenges, but he stood by it because he took a vow. Prabhupada had unlimited challenges. Tumhari challenges kaise? What challenges you are having? Are you on that boat that is, giving you heart attacks? He said so many things. Again, I was just like, my mind just started kind of revolving. Wow. By the time we finished the session, there was no question of me leaving ISKCON. It was like, give your life to ISKCON. It's devotees like you and me, we have to stay regardless of all the storms that will come and go, And it is devotees who have sincere faith and a connection with Krishna. They are the devotees going to carry on this movement forward. And challenges will come. No doubt challenges will come. So that was, Guru Maharaj, and George Harrison came to the temple. He always used to ask for Guru Maharaj. We have a nice picture of George Harrison and Guru Maharaj, and also Guru Maharaj is there. But he was always saying, where is that Swamiji? Is he here? Is he in London? So he was very touched. George was very touched by, Maharaj. Even when Maharaj went to South Africa, I wasn't there, but we all know that Nelson Mandela and, devotees were very touched by Guru Maharaj's presence. I mean, his just appearance itself was so effulgent, he was like a real Vishnu Duta, he's a Krishna, Krishna carrier, warrior, And some of the very touching things was for me was like when he gave lectures or when he came on a stage during the campaign. That one time that he came on the stage, when we had this march from Wembley to Harinam march from Wembley to the Manor, he was like a thunderbolt, and from his example, if you want to learn anything, we should understand one thing is that is Sange Sakti Kali Yuga. He knew how to get devotees together and encourage devotees to be together and get the devotees to preach together, Sange Sakti. Together, we can do so much. He would say something like that, what can one finger do? Right? Tell me what one finger can do. He would speak loud like that, like it really hit your system. And then say, what, 5 fingers put together and you make a fist, just see how powerful you are. So that was something that he used to say in the Mena campaign speeches all the time. He said, all of you have to be together. You have to fight this battle together. This temple is never going to close now. He won't say it's not going to close now. He say, this temple is never going to close now. It's your faith. Your faith may dwindle, but Krishna is not going to dwindle. And you should not dwindle. Yeah, so amazing experiences. The first time I went to Dwarka with him, that's when we were doing this 5 weeks parikrama of Bharatwas. And we were in Dwarka, this temple. And we were standing right at the front. And one of the pandas came and knocked me on my shoulder and said, please come, I'll give you some Mahaprasad. So I was thinking, oh, this is very nice. He'll give some Mahaprasad so I can take it for Guru Maharaj. So I thought he's just giving me Mahaprasad, but he took me inside somewhere. And then he makes me sit down. So instead of 2 minutes, it took 5 minutes. And then he was saying, you can have Mahaprasad for 500 rupees, for 5,000 rupees. So when I came out and Guru Maharaj and my wife were waiting outside, I said, where did you go? So I said, Maharaj, he told me he's going to give some Mahaprasad. So I thought, I was thinking of Mahaprasad at the Bhaktivedanta Manor. You get a plate of Mahaprasad, and I thought I'll get it for you. He said, no, you never go anywhere without asking me. You're with me for next 5 weeks. He said, you don't know, this is India. This is not Bhaktivedanta Manor. He chastised me right in front of everyone. Well, today I'm laughing. With that time, I was petrified. What did I do? Yeah, it was just a very touching moments. Those moments were very touching. We went to Jagannath Puri, so because I was told by nature also very fair. So, and because I didn't speak Hindi at that time, he told me, you just keep quiet, you two. He said, I have this panda who will take us. And if somebody else comes to ask you just say Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj ko push. Guru Maharaj ko push. Like that. And he walked us into these people were after us as we were climbing the steps to take darshan of Jagannath. He just told us, you just ignore them. This panda is with us. We are going with him. And he told the panda, you take care of these people. And that way we entered Jagannath temple. If it wasn't for Guru Maharaj, they wouldn't have let us go in because they would immediately say, you are Indians, maybe, but you are from overseas. Therefore, you are Malaysians. So therefore, you cannot come and take darshan of Jagannath. So he took us in, and then this panda, he knew he was Punjabi panda. He was very, very good. He took us right next to Lord Jagannath, and we got blessings of Lord Jagannath. He made us do parikrama of the altar. Normally they don't let you do that, but he made us do parikrama of the altar. Then he took us to one room, and literally, like you said, Chapan Bhog, there was like 50, 60 small pots of rice, all different rice, curd rice, this rice, that rice, another rice, another rice. And so we sat there, we sat for hours literally, and they were both talking. I mean, we were just listening and we were eating rice little at a time. Khate raho tum, thoda thoda khate raho. Yeah. So, yeah, this is just some of the, some of the experiences and thoughts that come to mind straight away. And Guru Maharaj is always with us. Never think that he's gone. He's never gone. He's always there. He'll always be there, And we should have remember that what he showed by example, he showed by example how to be a true warrior for Krishna, He showed us how to be very strong within ourselves, never to miss an opportunity, Be Trina Rapi Sunichana at the same time, but at the same time, when there is a need, then you stand up for Dharma, Don't be like, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you're talking like a foolish man. You are such a learned person, but talking like a foolish man. Why he said that to him? Because Arjuna was this is again, Maharaj would say this on the stage also. Arjuna was emotional. He had gone on to the sentimental platform. And he told him, Krishna tells him that, no, now it's time to be ethical, Maharaj would say, ethics, dharma, all the time, Follow Bhagavad Gita. Study Bhagavad Gita. I would speak like this so loud on the stage in my voice. Study Bhagavad Gita. Don't just be a standard Hindu, you would speak like that. Be a good devotee. You should know your science. Because wherever you go, you should represent Krishna and Guru very nicely. He would speak with so much vigor. You could feel like he's going with it, It's not just a statement or a lecture. He's like expressing his feelings that how important it is for all of us to become serious in our spiritual life and take everything really spiritually, Have that faith, he would say. Have faith in Krishna. Have faith in Prabhu. And the way he would just say it, it was like his faith was flowing and his mercy was flowing through his faith to develop our faith, into the systems. It's incredible. Even when we were outside Heartsmith Council, he would take the microphone and he would speak. He would blast the council like anything. He was not scared anyway. He said, like, we are representing Krishna. We don't have to be scared of these demons, He would just tell like it. Incredible. Yes.
Sorry, Prabhuji. I just ask you, you said about your guru, but
Actually, Madhuben, this is Trikalajna Prabhu. He lives in Vrindavan, and Vrindavan is south of Delhi, around about 100 miles.
I know. Yeah.
And he met our Guru Maharaj about 46 years ago. And he knows our spiritual master more than anybody. So what's happening today, because we are celebrating the birthday of our spiritual master, the disciples have gathered today, some of them, and what we're doing is sharing different pastimes of Guru Maharaj. So Trikalajna Prabhu, like he was just talking about
Yeah.
how, Guru Maharaj, who is here. This is Guru Maharaj. And in fact, Trikal Prabhu might be holding that microphone actually.
That's
So
me.
that's you, yeah. So he was very, what Trikal Prabhu was saying is that Guru Maharaj is very strong, very powerful preacher of Sanatana Dharma, and he would not back down against any opposition. Now, Trikalajna Prabhu, he's got some amazing pastimes himself. Right? If I could just interrupt you, Prabhu, and Madhuben as well. He has, in the last maybe 30 years or so, opened 4 different temples.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them, Radha Parthasarthi Temple in New Delhi, is one of the most amazing monuments of Bharat. I don't know how he built that temple. He did it with a lot of vigor and strength and help from others, but it's one of the most glorious temples. And not only that, he's saved many temples from literally being bankrupt or being shut down. Bhakti Vedanta Manor was one of them. He spent so many years,
11 years.
11 years with that struggle, and we came through it. And this was the help of Guru Maharaj, many other devotees. But now, Trikalajna Prabhu, he lives in Vrindavan for the last maybe 7, 8 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
And he, we always talking about the Gopi project. So he's the one who's actually leading that project. He's set up this Govardhan Institute of Vedic Education, which is connected to our society, London Institute of Vedic Education. And at the moment, he is putting over 360 girls through the education system. These are very, very poor children who the families have practically nothing. But the girls, they want to learn, they want to be educated. So to help these children, he and his team is really making such a phenomenal effort. And we are very grateful to him for giving us this opportunity to help him through perhaps giving some money. Not only girls, but there's very little fresh water in many parts of Vrindavan. So his team, they've put up, I don't know, maybe 70 water wells.
70 water pumps, yeah.
And another 100 planned in the next year or so. And this is no joke. This is really hard work, but he's doing it. He's planting trees, forests, giving blankets to poor people especially in the winter time, giving clothes, giving ration. When the floods took place last year, for Vrindavan was in trouble for at least 2 months, and somehow his team assisted so many different people, so many different situations, and Gaumata was also helped. He's adopted 13 Gaushalas. What he does, I can't even get my head around. All I know is whenever I try to phone him, he's busy talking to somebody, helping somebody, arranging something, feeding people, feeding sadhus, feeding school children, feeding people who have, again, nothing to eat, but he's doing so many things for them. So I really take my hat off to you, Prabhu. This Shakti comes from, I know it comes from Guru Maharaj and the devotees.
Absolutely comes from Guru Maharaj. If it wasn't him, I would have been a simple guy in that sense. Is the encouragement he gave me all the way through, right from day one, right for the very first moment when I saw him and he called me beta. He just, he won my heart.
But you're the epitome of this. He used to say to me many times, never give up. We've
Never give up.
He said, never give up. Just carry on. So you are the the perfect example of that. And Badhuban, if you can imagine, at the moment in Vrindavan, it is 50 degrees in the daytime.
Yeah.
With no electricity. Can you imagine the condition of, how hot it must be there. But yet, these devotees never stop. So hats off. So, by the way, anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to ask Prabhuji, what's, I trust someone, I like to hear someone, but I haven't got heart like you, just dedicate everything and you just do it. What's experience you had? Only he said beta and you just accept
Sorry,
everything. I said, I'll trust someone. I can hear some religious or some good thing from people, and but I haven't got that type of feeling what you had in first word. Guruji says, beta, and you just surrender everything, But how can you did this thing, and how I can't do anything?
see, first of all, very important thing that I learned from Guru Maharaj is that you have to have faith in yourself that you can do anything and everything by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Gauranga means Krishna, So you have to have that faith that if Guru says something, it will happen, Like I give you example, many places. Prabhupada told Mukunda Maharaj he was leaving New York to go to San Diego, and Prabhupada just called him. So you're going to San Diego? He said, yes. So you please open a temple there. And Mukunda Maharaj, he was thinking, open a temple in San Diego? How is this going to be possible? But he went to San Diego and he talked to some devotees there. And he said, Prabhupada wants us to open a temple. So devotees said, okay, let's get together and let's see what we can do. And within a few weeks, they found a place and they opened a temple. Prabhupada told Mukunda Maharaj that, we should have a storefront so people can come to our place and we can preach, through the day, not just on some weekends. So next day, Mukunda Maharaj, he was at that time, Michael, he went outside and he was thinking, I don't know, this Swami wants me to do this. How am I going to do this, And he just goes and he finds this article saying this storefront is for rent. So he goes, looks it up, calls Prabhupada, and, they both come. First of all, Michael at that time was trying to make a deal, and, the landlord was not budging. Then Prabhupada took over the negotiation and the landlord completely surrendered to Prabhupada, So like Guru is specially empowered, Guru is Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Sastra, he's not God, but he's as good as God, He has extraordinary powers. So when we have that faith that a Guru's, blessings is going to carry me through anything and everything, it will. Because if you can, Navinanda Prabhu, if you can send a copy of my book, all I've written is faith to success. Why? Because everything from Bhaktivedanta Manor to building the Delhi temple, going to Washington and saving the temple from closing down within 4 months. I had only 4 months to find $500,000 in a country that I had never stayed. But I had faith that if Gurujans are telling me that if Prabhupada was here, he would send you to Washington. Immediately I had that faith that yes, I am the chosen one. I am getting this privilege, and I should not miss out on this privilege because Prabhupada said any opportunity you get to serve or preach, you should never say no because Krishna wants you to do it. So you have that faith, Madhuban, you have that faith in yourself that yes, actually I can do any and everything, with the shelter and blessings of Guru and Gauranga. And then you'll see miracles will happen. As long as you think that I am me and I can only do this and I can't do that and all that, then you're living on that mental platform. Sorry to say, but that's the reality with everyone. We live on mental platform and therefore we let ourselves down because we don't have enough faith within ourselves.
That's right.
But like Guru Maharaj said, have that faith. He would always implant. He implanted that something so deeply that it is so deep rooted in me.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I believe since I was young and very young, and I always believe my guru is Jalaram Bappa. He was at
Yes.
born nearly 20 or 200 years ago, or more than 200 years ago. So
I know Jalaram, yes.
yeah, so in my mind, was anybody ask me, and I say my guru is who's your guru? I say my guru is Jalaram Bapa. Bas. And I feel in my life what my guru did for me. I can't explain you, but I feel Jalaram Bapa. And to be
Yes, I know.
honest,
That's okay. Jago Jalaram Virpurna Vasi, Mari
Vasi.
Arja Sunone Avinasi.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
but somebody said no, you have to wear kanthi because of your Vaishnava, you have to be, made as some person as a guru. But I say Zala Bapa is my guru. Why I have to think about other guru?
If you accepted him as your guru, then he's your guru. You don't have to worry about the world.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
take
you.
your life seriously, take your spiritual life seriously. And you know that Jalaram comes even today into people's hearts and minds and guides them through the dreams. I know that,
Yeah.
and so have that faith in yourself that you have a guru and he's guiding you.
Yeah,
And maybe
always he is guiding me since I was baby. And still,
Yeah.
see now actually, when I started join these classes with Prabhuji, and I know believe in Krishna because I got a baby Krishna. My mother-in-law used to do seva and everything. Then my husband. Then I never believe in seva, but now I started little bit seva as well. But
Seva is important because it will give you a joy of giving. You see, there is nothing compared to joy of giving. When you give yourself into service, when you give, it's like you're giving yourself in service to Jalaram. You think like that. If you're wearing a kanti, you're wearing kanti because Jalaram will be happy with you. Because it's a Vaishnava protocol and etiquette that you wear a kanti because that protects you.
I got
Under all
Jalaram Bapa
circumstances.
Kanti. I got
Yeah.
Jalaram Bapa Kanti as
Great.
well.
So keep it with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Still,
right.
yeah, some people always, once my two sister, my mother-in-law's sister-in-law, they were very old, 90 years old, and they were coming to my house, and my mother-in-law said, if they ask you who's your guru, so what will you say? I say my guru is Jalaram Bapa. But then my mother-in-law say they won't eat whatever you cooked because of they are pure Vaishnava. I say I'm a Vaishnava as well, but to be honest, I prayed to Bapa and I said, they're all coming my house and they won't eat. My mother-in-law saying, what shall I do? But to be honest, they both my mother-in-law's sister-in-law, when they enter and after half an hour they discuss everything and then ask me, who's your guru? And I say, Jalaram Bapa. They didn't say anything, and actually they had all food whatever I made. That's Bapa's krupa.
It is, but Ben, we'll have to continue that conversation another time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you.
for in participating as you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Naveen and Prabhu, I'd say yes, faith, have faith like Guru Maharaj had that faith. He's given it to us. Sangha Sakti, that means all of us, if we put ourselves together, we will have a portion of that strength that Guru Maharaj had, because he's a guru, empowered, we are his, expansions in many different ways. And I would request that all the disciples and all the associates of the disciples, please, look into the pastimes of Guru Maharaj and see how he touched people's heart, how he preached, how he served Prabhupada in the movement so seriously. There's not a moment that he was like not doing anything for, the mission of preaching. And the faith that he had within himself was unique, it's really unique. And if we keep remembering him and we keep, looking into his pastimes, it won't take much long before you will start having that faith. You will also become strong within yourself. You'll make advancement in your spiritual life, and you'll also serve. Never miss out an opportunity to preach. Never miss out an opportunity to serve. Study the Bhagavad Gita if possible. Memorize the Bhagavad Gita. Guru Maharaj could read the whole Bhagavad Gita, recite the whole Bhagavad Gita in 40 minutes. Because he'd memorized it, and he would do it with so much vigor. And so much joy was there when he was, reciting the Bhagavad Gita that you just feel like, how is it possible? Just like Madhuban said, how is it possible? I was feeling the same. How is it possible that Guru Maharaj can have so much knowledge and so much strength and so much joy is there on his face when he's reciting the Bhagavad Gita? But yes, it's very important. Only when, they say there's the proof of the pudding is in the eating, So when you become involved seriously and sincerely, give yourself 10%. If you have faith and you develop that faith, then you give yourself 10% to the preaching mission, This is Kali Yuga, and Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, This is the age of Hare Nam, Sankirtan, To chant very nicely, very sincerely. Don't wait to chant after lunchtime or in the evening time. First thing you should do is chant in the morning. Prabhupada was very merciful to us. Normally, devotees chant 64 rounds, but he said, okay, minimum 60. Chant those rounds seriously. Get up in the morning, early in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Get up early in the morning and chant when everyone is sleeping and everything is so peaceful. And you will see that chanting will change your consciousness immensely. Develop that habit of getting up between 2 and 3 sometime and chant at least for a few hours. Do minimum 16 rounds without any disturbance. No cell phone, no nothing. Everybody should know around you that you will not budge because this is your time for your sadhana bhakti. Because this is what's going to save you from having to take another birth. And Guru Maharaj used to chant, it was just unique. At the Bhaktivedanta, sorry, I'm taking 1 minute more. We used to come into Bhaktivedanta manor. We were living in Romford, so we had to drive 1.5 hours to get to Mangalarti initially. So we would leave very early so we could get to the manor by 4:15. If you're not stopped by the police in those days, they would stop you every other day. Where are you going? So, but then Guru Maharaj said, can you come a little earlier? And I think, wow, come a little earlier. I'm driving 1.5 hours. Then just the way he said, yes. And I just looked at him, yes, I can try. He said, no, just come a little early. It's good for you because you come and chant before Mangalarti. Then when you come to Mangalarti, then your consciousness will be very profound. And you will be greeting, Radha Gokul nicely, At that time, you will not be half asleep, trying to wake yourself up. You should not be tired and sleepy. Mangalarti starts at 4:30. You should chant at least for 1 hour before that. And then gradually when we moved to Watford, we used to come every morning. Me and my wife used to come by 3 o'clock every day to the manor. We rose up 2:30. We were out and we were at the manor by 3. We used to chant. One day I thought, I want to be there before everyone. So I told my wife, can we go a little earlier? She said, okay, sure. So we got there at about 2, maybe it was 17 or 18. I was thinking we will be the first one in the thing. And guess what? There's Guru Maharaj chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. He's going up and down the corridor and we are paying obeisances, And it was that moment again, it was very touching moment to see we're trying to be the first one there and then Guru Maharaj saying, okay, it's a good thing, but I'm here also. So many moments are there. I think we literally almost, I would say 13, 14 years, I was his Sarthi. I was driving him and doing many things. In between, I would be doing the Mana campaign, but whenever he wanted to go somewhere, I would drive him. And somehow or other, Krishna always had made that arrangement so that whenever he wanted to be driven, it was my feeling that I just wanted to be able to do that. Sometimes the situation was that I had to be at some meeting, for the Mana campaign. And I would go and say, Guru Maharaj, this is the situation, but I still want to drive. He said, okay, then we'll leave 2 hours early. You drop me, go to your meeting, come back and pick me up again. Sometimes I'm running to like East London to drop in, then I'm running into the central London somewhere to have some kind of bureaucratic meetings or political meeting. And I'm running back to Romford and then I'm picking him up, like that. But never miss an opportunity. What I'm trying to say is that he embedded something as a never miss an opportunity. If you get a chance to serve, take it up. Chance to preach, take it up. Because that's what he did. He never missed an opportunity. He loved Prabhupada to anything. He was like so much, a Prabhupada soldier. And he showed by example how to be a great soldier, not just be a soldier, not just simply be surrendered, but be a true, unique, soldier, so that, many, many people will benefit. Because when you become a true warrior, then people notice you, and people will see what you're doing, and then if you're following in the footsteps in Sadhu Sastra and Sangha and everything, then people will also benefit. And he did that very uniquely wherever he went. It wasn't just like the general master, wherever he went. I even remember taking him to the National Cathedral and he gave a speech there one time. He just spoke like so strongly about Bhagavad Gita. We were in a church, National Cathedral. And then all these priests were coming out afterwards and, practically bowing down to him, saying that was such a wonderful talk you gave. With the way touched that a Swami can speak with so much thunder, so much faith. All right, thank you all so much. I'm sorry I took up so much time. I'm always here for you.
Thank you. The message is very, very important. Thank you. And I remember in 1986 or 87, the first time Guru Maharaj came to our home, you
Yes.
brought him.
Yeah, I was a Sarthi. I was privileged.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. It was amazing because you also.
So he connected us because he knew that you and we will be doing service together. Sanghe Sakti, remember, right?
True.
So after 40 years or whatever, we are still continuing together. Why? Because he connected us and he made us, the service together.
Well, yeah, it's a fact. And he's definitely, can feel his support. I remember when I was with him one time in Vrindavan, and he was, as you were saying, guiding how to.
Yes.
So we were in the rickshaw going to one of the mandirs. I think it was Radharaman Mandir, and I was saying to him, these children, they look so happy here. And he said to me, he just told me, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know how these children are suffering, especially the
Yes.
girls. You should do something to help them. This was
Mm.
in 1990. And I was dumbfounded. I was thinking, crikey, what can I do to help them? And then years and years and years later, because how can you find anybody you can really trust, especially in Vrindavan? And then by his grace and by the Lord's mercy, we connected, and somehow what he said to me at that time is actually becoming manifest,
Right.
So the connection, you're right, connection is very, very strong, and it's there.
Well, just like I said, man, he could always see through us. He could see what we are at, what we are. He could tell somebody is very pure, somebody is very advanced, and he could tell that this devotee just needs to be given a kickstart, But like even when I used to take him to Coventry, we used to go and stay at Mrs. Anand's place.
She's here.
And he had so much love for her because he would just say, she is so pure. I tell my wife, you learn from her. There's just so much purity is there in her, like that.
Her daughter is here, Mangala.
Yeah, hi, born Mangala. Yeah. So he was always praising, and Mangala and her brother were little at the time. So it was nice, we had association of the whole family, but like Guru Maharaj always said, "Look, stop at Coventry first. Tell her we are coming," He actually had so much love for her and he'd always want to take prasadam at her place. We were in Coventry, Leicester, Birmingham. We said, no, we'll take prasadam only in Coventry, Yeah, like that.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was privileged to bring Maharaj to our house as well. Trikalajna Prabhu.
Kamakshi, good. Yes. Say that again, Kamakshi.
I said it was a privilege to serve you and Maharaj many a time, and it does bring memories of the association my husband had with you guys.
Wow. Small world. Yes. Now, thank you all so much. Thank you for giving me this chance to be with all of you. And I'm here in Vrindavan trying to serve. And I would like to invite all of you to come with Nabinandan Prabhu one time. Maybe you bring a big group and we'll take the
August.
village and you can plant some trees there and you can make your own rotis on the village chulas. There'll be no guest house. It'll be fun. And we can arrange for you to interact with the Braj Basis. It is just unique. Once you see how austerely they are living and yet they are so happy, then that will change your life in a very interesting way, But yeah, sure, if you're coming in a group, great. If you're coming individually in between any time, like Nabinandan Prabhu is always sending somebody. And, we are happy to serve you in every possible way, and we'll be very happy to continue doing that service to everyone.
And thank you
that
for
is
being there.
especially for the pleasure of Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you for being there. We Ashwin Bhai, one of our trustees, came with a group of 20 ladies.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
loved it. They absolutely loved it. So you're really gracious host, and really appreciate.
Yeah, he called me. I can't remember. They said 20 or 30 people and said, "Are you sure we can bring some people?" I said, "Yeah, no problem. It's not the size of the house. Size of the house is the size of the heart that counts. Your heart, like Prabhupada said, I built a home for the whole world. He didn't say only for the Indians or for my disciples. I built a home in which the whole world can live. So we have to follow in that first step. We have to have a big heart. They all came and there was enough chairs and some people were sitting on the side and it was nice. We had nice satsang for 1 hour or so. They asked many questions and we had a little kirtan also, and then they left and we arranged some nice simple prasadam for them also. Last week, we had a group from London also. 6 of them came. And a few months before that, Dr. Krishna Radia Madhuben. You know Krishna Radia and Bipin Radia?
Yes.
Yeah, so Krishna Radia had come with 6 people also. They had a great time. His 2 sisters literally went crying from here. They could not believe that Vrindavan can, by coming to Vrindavan, if they have the appropriate association, they can have such a wonderful in-depth experience, touching, heart-moving experience.
And Dr. Krishna, he mentioned that you inspired him to open up or start the
clinic.
service in
A
the
medical clinic.
So that's really amazing.
Yeah, we found a place. We've shown it to him. I sent you the photos, right?
Yeah.
And within a few months, we'll have a clinic running for the poor people so that they can have medicine and a local doctor who's qualified. He will treat them also without charging them. And then Dr. Radia will arrange for other doctors to come through, through the area like that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask if there's any devotees who wanted to share any experiences with Trikalagya or ask any questions about Guru Maharaj, or because Trikalagya knows Guru Maharaj from long before we do. Anybody would like to ask anything or share anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Guruji. I'm really happy to hear all your experience, what you had. The day, the very first day when you said he tapped on you and he said, "Better," and then after that you got the faith in you and your wife, and then you said you went walking all around 5x. So were you walking everywhere to do all these jatras?
No, we were in the train, but once we would get to the local place, depending on how far it was, we would get a taxi to go to the specific temple. Like when we went to Sri Rangam from the train station, we got onto the rickshaw and went to the main place, where there's 22 wells.
Yeah.
Like that. So
Yeah.
we had to be practical wherever we were,
And you did it all everything in 5 weeks, and that was
5
the
weeks
first
all over
time
India.
you
We
went.
did the whole circumambulation of India, just like Lord Chaitanya did.
And first time you went India.
That was my first time to India, yes.
And then
Sleeping in the
after
train
that
every
you got.
night, taking shower in the train, you have that just one little pipe where the water just comes out. So you take the shower, and then my wife would go in last because then she would take our clothes and wash them. And we would hang them somewhere to dry so they could use them the next day. He had told us, don't bring a big suitcase. You just bring a small case with you because we're going to be on the move all the time. So we literally like
Yes.
hikers, We had our backpacks, and we had only Guru Maharaj's big suitcases.
Yes.
We didn't have suitcases,
And
So
it
that's
is really nice. Yeah. And it is really nice to hear all your experience, what you had, and you built new 4 temples, and how you have helped other people. As
Yes.
Prabhuji also keeps saying that in Vrindavan, you and him got in touch, and Prabhuji, like anytime anything is happening in Vrindavan, he will put it on the group,
Net.
and he will just say if anybody wants to help, things like that.
Yes.
And this is the first time I think is this the first time we see you on this group?
Yeah, that's right. First time you seeing him. Yes.
First time, yeah. I haven't got no words for you, but I can only say lots and lots of my heart blessings to you, that
Thank you so much.
whatever seva you're doing for the people everywhere in the world.
Thank
Hare
you.
Please
Krishna.
come to Vrindavan. Please
I
come.
will one day, definitely I will
We'll
come.
bring up. We'll bring up.
We will come. One day we will definitely come. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One past time I remember you shared maybe 2-3 years ago how you were in one place with Guru Maharaj sleeping the night. In the middle of the night, Guru Maharaj called you in. There were sort of lots of small insects on him.
Yeah, marker, bed bites, bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Porbandar, so we stayed in some kind of a hall. So they'd given us one big room. It was like a very big hall. So Guru Maharaj said, let's just stay here. We don't want to go stay in hotel. Why, waste money? So these local people had, ashram people had given us a hall to stay in. So like it's like would say 60 feet by 40 feet size. It's a huge hall, no bed, no, only one bed. And then so Guru Maharaj went to sleep on the bed. He had his sleeping bag, and we had our sleeping bag. So we were all sleeping on the floor, and he was sleeping on the bed. And then suddenly he said, Trika. And I think, why he's calling me? Trika, utho, jaldi utho, Trika. So I got up quickly and said, yes, Guru Maharaj, what can I do? He said, मुझे कुछ काट रहा है, जल्दी देखो क्या काट रहा है, So then and then they only had this 10-watt bulb or maybe 15-watt bulb, so you could hardly see anything. So I'm quickly dragging into my backpack to get that torchlight. I had a military torchlight, and I put that on, and Vaidet Tanga was up with her torchlight, and we went close to him, and he's sitting up. He came out of the sleeping bag, and it was a nest. It was so nasty, as a nest of his, marker in there. And so there we are. Now we're opening this bag, turning it upside down, and my wife's holding one side, I'm holding, and we are like shaking it, taking all of these guys off the thing. And after that, none of us slept. We just chanted all night. We left in the morning. Like, yeah, it was nasty. But somehow or other, the way just Trikal utho, jaldi karo. So it was very touching. I mean, when I think of that, like, so I was very fortunate to be with him all the time, train, preaching places, Mrs. Anand's place, Coventry, Leicester, Birmingham, everywhere we went. Very touching.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you all for having me, and please excuse me.
We'll see you again
We'll
sometimes.
keep in touch with all of you. Nabinanda Prabhu, thank you so much for having me on. Like,
Thank you. Thank you for your
wonderful. It's brought me back a lot of wonderful memories. I'm just so happy to share them with you.
Thank you for sharing. It was really
Hare
good.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And just to let devotees know, Prabhu will get up early and chant 64 rounds every day, which is incredible on top of what he does. So I wanted to ask other devotees if you'd like to unmute and share some experience with Guru Maharaj. Maybe Narayan Prabhu, I know you're in Bharat as well, and it'll be quite late there. Madhu Magas.
Prabhuji, I'm sorry, but I have to go now.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, see you tomorrow evening. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, all the devotees.
Madhu Mangal Prabhu, would you like to
Yeah,
share
Narayan
anything?
Prabhu is going
Oh,
to
Narayan
end up.
Prabhu. Yes, go for it, Narayan Prabhu. We can't hear
I
you.
need to unmute.
You can unmute, Narayan Prabhu. And maybe you can open your camera.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, that was Pranam, Prabhuji.
We can't see.
I'm
Can we
Narayan
see you?
Das.
Can we see you?
Yeah, you should be able to see. I'm trying to. Yeah, can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes, we
Can
can.
you see me, Prabhu?
Yes,
good,
yes. We can see you.
Yes, Prabhu. It was about my Guru Maharaj. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाय शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. I pay my obeisances at the dust of my Guru Maharaj's lotus feet. Jai Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, I have wonderful personalized experience with Guru Maharaj, and it is good to mention a few, though the queue is very long. Everybody wants to speak about Guru Maharaj, so I won't take long time. Guru Maharaj was wonderful to me all the time. And despite of his age,
Actually, Prabhu, we can't hear you
Lost
properly.
you. Lost you.
We might have lost him. Narayan Prabhu, are you there?
No, he's gone.
Oh, I think the internet is quite tough there.
Yeah.
Atma, would you like to share anything while we're waiting for your father? Atma, Madhu Mangal,
Karuna.
Karuna, yes.
Hello, everyone. Happy to go. Wait.
You can represent the dad. I mean, Pitaji.
You're on mute, Pidaji. Haribol.
No,
Is he back?
he's there. He's there.
You're on mute. Not the signal. We can see you, but we can't hear you. You have to unmute your. Can we manually unmute it from this side?
Yeah, we can
No,
ask him. Yes.
We can only ask him.
Yeah,
I'm
he's.
thinking if he's having
He's-
issues, maybe he should switch off his camera and switch on his mic. Maybe the internet will be a little bit better than for him if he's struggling with both.
True.
The in-
I think he's frozen at the moment. Anyway, Madhu Mangal Prabhu, you share a few things.
Happy to do so. So, Hare Krishna, everyone, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all of you. So wonderful to have this, devotee Sangha with my illustrious God brothers and God sisters. So thank you very much for all coming together. It always made Guru Maharaj very, very happy when we all came together. Whether to glorify Guru Maharaj, to glorify Srila Prabhupada, or even to glorify Krishna. He loved that we did satsang together. So this would be very pleasing that everyone is here today. And he would say that everyone's attendance is noted. So, that is indeed very beautiful to see everyone here. I was just reflecting on my good fortune of knowing Guru Maharaj, because if we think about our parampara, Srila Prabhupada was here about 50 years ago, but I just missed him. Whether any one of you managed to get his personal association, we know devotees that had, but I certainly missed Guru Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada. So knowing Guru Maharaj was sort of, obviously we associate with Srila Prabhupada through his purpose, Yeah, it's interesting that way that, I didn't manage to associate directly with Srila Prabhupada, but from early years, the very first person that you sort of think of from a pure devotee perspective was always Guru Maharaj, who obviously linked us back to Srila Prabhupada and, never ever took credit for himself, and always gave credit to Srila Prabhupada. So that was always beautiful to know. And I was always reflecting on how Guru Maharaj was always Krishna conscious. It was not like, like we go to work or we do something, there may be times when we switch off, but Guru Maharaj never switched off from being a devotee, which was always amazing. I mean, I was reflecting on a pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Nityananda Prabhu, in his young pastimes, he was doing a drama. So they were doing the drama of Ramayana, and Nityananda Prabhu was playing Lakshman. And during the course of the drama, one of the boys who was playing Indrajit, the eldest son of Ravan, took a flower, and this was meant to be the shield weapon, and he tapped it on Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu collapsed, and we see that when they came to try to wake Nityananda Prabhu up, he wouldn't arise, and when they checked his vitals, there were no vitals, So Harai Pandit his father was very, very concerned. Then one of the boys remembered that actually Nityananda Prabhu told me that, if I ever went unconscious, because I was playing Hanuman, I needed to go and get the jelly booties, from the mountains, like Hanuman did in the pastime. So they enacted the whole pastime, and they brought the jelly booty, and then they offered that to Nityananda Prabhu, and he arose. Nityananda Prabhu was 100% involved in that drama. And that sort of triggered a thought. I was remembering how Guru Maharaj, when he would honor prasadam, he would generally watch Ramayana or watch something spiritual. So he was in South London. This was 2012, 2013. He was honoring prasadam. I was a servant sitting there. Suddenly I see this rage coming up on Guru Maharaj's face, And I was like, okay, what's happening here? And then in the Ramayana, at that stage, Ravan was about to abduct Sita. So as soon as he had abducted Sita, Guru Maharaj was fuming. He was furious. He was honoring prasadam, but he stood up and he said, "Dusht Ravan," and he was 100% committed. It wasn't that, we watched it, we think, oh, Ravan did that, this happened, that happened. But Guru Maharaj was sort of mentally, physically, spiritually 100% in the Ramayana. And he couldn't accept that Ravan could do such a heinous thing. And him as a devotee, he's not having entertainment, sitting there honoring prasadam and thinking, oh, this was a pastime. He was in it, And he was so furious. He said, "Dusht Ravan, tera sarvanash ho jaye," And it was amazing because we were like, oh, what happened there? Fuming. And it was beautiful to see that, he wasn't just watching it for entertainment. He felt, that he had a duty of care to protect Sita. He had a duty of care to Ram because he loved Ram so much. And I was just reflecting, we often talk about Guru Maharaj as being this strong warrior, but often to me, his Swarup also looks like, he's probably one of those commanders from the armies that attacked Lanka, because you can see that from his persona. I never obviously said anything to Guru Maharaj about it. Like how Murari Gupta also appeared in Mahaprabhu's pastime, but he could only say Ram's name. Similarly, Guru Maharaj was here, but he could only, he loved thinking about Ram, the pastimes of Lord Ram. So in that same way, Guru Maharaj was always committed, or always very much attached to Lord Ram in that way, that if he was physically very present. I remember one time as well in Durban, South Africa, one of the Matajis was drying Guru Maharaj's clothes on the line, and Guru Maharaj called for this Mataji and said, "What are you doing?" And she said, I'm drying the clothes. He goes, "No, but what are you doing?" He said, "I'm drying the clothes." He said, "But what are you thinking of?" So she said, "I'm just thinking of drying the clothes." Guru Maharaj said, "If you're not thinking of Krishna, this is not devotional service. So whether you're drying the clothes, you're cooking, you're studying, you have to be thinking of Krishna, and it was really powerful because we can go about our activities, even spiritual activities, and not be conscious of Krishna, what to speak of material activities. So it was nice to see that, Guru Maharaj emphasized this point that even when doing spiritual activities, we should be so conscious that when we're doing material activities, we're still conscious of Krishna. So that was nice. And, another thing that was beautiful about Guru Maharaj is we know Guru Maharaj for always giving us blessings. Whenever you called Guru Maharaj, he'd say, may Radharani bless you, may Krishna bless you, may Guru Maharaj bless you, may Prabhupada bless you. But one thing maybe many of you devotees may or may not know is that when Guru Maharaj used to rise, he would rise very early. Like Trikalajna Prabhu was mentioning that, and when he got to the manor, Guru Maharaj was already there chanting. This was in the 80s, of course, but even to just before Guru Maharaj left the planet, he was still practicing that. He would finish his rounds even before 4:30. So Guru Maharaj was always chanting. But one thing Guru Maharaj would also do before chanting was pray for blessings. And that would go on for at least an hour and a half. So from about 1:30 a.m. or 2 a.m., Guru Maharaj would rise and start praying to Krishna, Krishna, and then he'd go through all the spiritual places, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Mayapur Dham ki jai, Ayodhya Dham ki jai. Go through all the spiritual personalities, the Devi Devtas, in a mood of getting blessings. And he was empowering himself from a spiritual point of view. And that's where Guru Maharaj got all these blessings from, to give blessings, because Guru Maharaj prayed for blessings himself. It wasn't that Guru Maharaj just had the blessings but didn't need any blessings. And Guru Maharaj did that on a daily basis. One thing that was also amazing, whenever Guru Maharaj arrived to a temple, he'd go and see the deities. And while taking darshan, he'd actually talk to the deities. I don't know if Navinandan Prabhu or anyone else knows what Guru Maharaj was saying to the deities. Did anyone ever ask Guru Maharaj what was the conversation? Because we watched the conversation. You didn't bug Guru Maharaj with a mic just to hear, maybe you get a glimpse of what's going on. I always wanted to know what Guru Maharaj was saying and what Krishna was saying back to Guru Maharaj. But it was always nice. Guru Maharaj had that 10, 15, 20 minutes of conversation with the deities, and then he would address us all and then tell us where he had been all year round, or since we last saw him. And that was always nice, because we felt like we were traveling with Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj said, I went here, I had darshan of these deities. And Guru Maharaj knew exactly where he had been, who he had taken darshan of. Sometimes, he'll say, where did you go? X, Y, Z. Who do you take darshan of? You can't remember because you went to 100 temples. But Guru Maharaj always remembered where he had been, and he also brought blessings for everyone wherever he went. So that was very, very beautiful. So, seeing that strength, that austerity, that conviction was very nice. And, I often reflect upon it because, Guru Maharaj may not physically be here, but we still need Guru Maharaj's blessings. We still need his guidance. And that also keeps us going because, we're living in a completely different day and age now. I always think, what would Guru Maharaj do in this world? It's really messed up, And Guru Maharaj is a man from a different age, completely personality from a different age. So, it was a breath of fresh air to see, the guidance he would give us and the things. And it was always very simple. He said, keep it simple, One last thing I'll share, because I know there's so many wonderful devotees here that have nice pastimes, is how Guru Maharaj, again, in the same vein, how he saw everything in relationship to Krishna. Even Lakshmi, Guru Maharaj always wanted us to think of this in relationship to Krishna. We saw Trikalajna Prabhu was explaining how very simply they stayed, in a sleeping bag, etc. And Guru Maharaj was quite vocal about it, is where we can save Lakshmi and use it in Krishna's service, we should do so. I remember I was traveling in 2014 to Mahadham. And, I remember this, that, try and save Lakshmi where you can, So I ended up at the Kapurthala station, and I could take a taxi from Kapurthala to Mahadam. That was 900 rupees. Or I could take a train. And I thought, this would be pleasing to Guru Maharaj if I took a train. So I rocked up at the train station to buy a ticket. I gave the gentleman a 100 rupee note, and he said, it's too big. I need a smaller denomination. I said, how much do you need? He said, I need 3 rupees, And I was gobsmacked that, this is the journey. 3 rupees would pay, obviously, depending on circumstances, if you're coming with a family or whatever, it could be different. But for 3 rupees, I got from Kapurthala to Mahadam. And then for another 15 rupees, I took the rickshaw to the temple. And Guru Maharaj asked me, how did you come? And I explained, he was so happy. He said, now that Lakshmi, you used it for Krishna. And that way you still got here, but then you have some ability to get some blessings. So Guru Maharaj is always looking at our welfare. How can we get blessings? How can we, with urgency, get out of this material world and make our lives successful? So I pray that we may all make our lives successful. We may all have some urgency to get out of this material world and be reunited with Guru Maharaj in whatever Leela he's doing, wherever he's doing it. I look forward to that time, seeing him again. So thank you all very much for tolerating me and giving me the opportunity to speak. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Always a pleasure to hear you speak. And you've got so much love for Guru Maharaj. And I still remember, I think it was 7-8 years back before COVID. Can you imagine Guru Maharaj during COVID here? Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was like, how could it happen? Yeah.
The Lord saved him from that crap. Anyway, I remember you said you were sleeping one time. Hear that pastime is so good.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be Guru Maharaj's servant. So what would happen is Guru Maharaj often would get cramps at night. So they would prefer that a devotee slept in Guru Maharaj's room. So that, if anything was needed, wouldn't have to wait. There was no lag. So, I mean, I love this part I loved is all I needed was a pillow. Now I need a bed and everything that comes with it. But back then I just needed a pillow, and then the dhoti would be the chadar. So there was enough cloth that I could wrap myself around with the dhoti. Now, the first night I was doing this service, probably about 20 years ago, I was like, what if I slept and didn't wake up and Guru Maharaj needed me? So I decided not to sleep, so come 11, 12, 1, I'm wide awake. But come 3 a.m., I'm out. And I didn't know when I was out. And Guru Maharaj would rise for Mangal Arti. So I'm out, and then I just hear chanting, right? Suddenly, eyes open, and Guru Maharaj's face is here. It wasn't like he rose out of his bed, walked around to the floor, came down, and then he was chanting directly in my ear, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Eyes opened, and then he looked, Madhumangal, deep sleep, not good. And he was not talking about that sleep. He was talking about me being in Maya and right. I was up and gone, and yeah, it was amazing how much care he had, that he wasn't worried about me just sleeping, but he wanted me to be conscious and awake so that we wouldn't miss the Vani that he gave. So yeah, always remember that.
Thank you for sharing. Always good to hear it from you.
Just one more thing, sorry, before I go. So on the 20th of July, 2024, yes. It's a day before 2 days before Guru Purnima, but it's also the day of Guru Maharaj's disappearance. So we'll be doing a memorial for Guru Maharaj. And by the mercy of the devotees, we'll be having it at our ashram here at Sri Rajdham. So the 20th of July, I'd like to open an invite to every one of you. If you're able to make it, we'd love to have you here. We'll send out more details with the timings, etc. But please mark on your date, 20th of July, 2024. We're about 30 minutes from the Bhaktivedanta Mana. One service Guru Maharaj had asked me to do, which I've failed miserably over the years. He said, I would love for you to keep God Brothers united, So I always think of this, that, it'd be wonderful if I can host all the devotees, together, and then we can have satsang. So this is a service that Guru Maharaj asked for me. So I'd love to have each and every one of you here on the 20th of July to share more Guru Maharaj Katha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for hosting that. Fantastic.
I think my Pitaji Narayan Das Prabhuji is back online again. So hopefully we can get a connection this time.
Narayan Prabhu.
Sorry to interrupt, Madhumangal Prabhu. I just want to thank you for the very last thing that you said, your service to try to unite God brothers and God sisters. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Divya.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, this connection wasn't so good here in Bharat.
That's
And
enough.
it's nearly 10 o'clock, so I just needed an apology from you. So, Prabhu, experience was so good. And I think of him, I always remember it.
Pidaji, if you put your voice is breaking, we can't hear you clearly. If you put your camera off, it might give a bit more bandwidth.
Yep. Okay, this one. Okay. The camera, Prabhu. Sorry.
That's okay. If you can't get it off, doesn't matter. Just in the interest of time, carry on then.
Okay. Is it okay now?
We've lost him again. He'll probably cut the call just to come back again.
Uddhav Prabhu, would you like to share anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm in the train right now, so my connection may break up while I'm speaking. So maybe next time.
Okay, you can share whatever you like if you want, and if it breaks up, that's okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes. Go for it, Narayan. Yes.
Is it okay now, Prabhu?
Yes, it's good.
Yes. So, Prabhuji, Guru Maharaj's experience with me was wonderful and very, very gracious. The Guru Maharaj was very aged, but still his memory was so gracious and so wonderful. Anytime I call him, and he will ask about the welfare of my family, how are the children, how is my wife, and how is everything. And I was so amazed. Prabhuji, Guru Maharaj was so wonderful. He initiated, he planted a seed in me, and every time I meet him, well, first time I met him in Durban, before he became my guru, and Guru Maharaj asked me, "Beta, you speak Hindi?" I say, "Guru Maharaj, yes." "Where are you?" I'm in Botswana, in a village, 120 kilometers from Gaborone. Guru Maharaj said, "Okay, Beta, give me your address. I will call you." Guru Maharaj took my address. Prabhuji, I was amazed. When I had a Ramayana in my house, Guru Maharaj did call me, and it was such a wonderful experience. And Guru Maharaj blessed me, "Beta, you will come to Gaborone very, very soon." Well, with his blessings, I went to Gaborone, Prabhuji. It was very nice. Prabhuji, Guru Maharaj planted a seed in me. "Beta, you should leave South Africa, Southern Africa, Botswana, and should go to Bharat and go to holy dhams, many, many dhams." Well, it was very difficult task for me, staying 35 years in Botswana and going back to Bharat. Well, Prabhuji, Guru Maharaj did not forget. Second time when I met him in Durban, he asked me, "Narayan Das, what is your plan now coming to Bharat?" Prabhuji, I will definitely come to Bharat. I promise him. He went to Botswana. I started planning now how to go back to Bharat. Living 5 years in Gabon wasn't easy for me, but it was Guru Maharaj's instructions. Anyway, I went to me and my Dharapatni, we all went to Bharat, and unfortunately, we lost Guru Maharaj. And we were just thinking, had Guru Maharaj were here in Bharat, we would have been very happy to meet him. And Guru Maharaj would have been extremely happy to meet us in Bharat. And unfortunately, when we remember, we regret. I wish I would have come to Bharat 1 year before, but you never knew. You never knew. Life is like that. When I think of it, I become very emotional of thinking about my Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj was great to me all the time. He was giving me very good directions all the time, personal directions. Guru Maharaj told me, and us be bold, you are a Brahmin, and be bold and don't be scared of anything. And always remember Krishna. Guruji, I was remembering Krishna and remember my Guru Maharaj. I pay my millions of obeisances to my Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Narayan Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And amazing you followed his instructions of moving from Botswana to Bharat. So well done. Very good. Shivdayal Prabhu, are you able to speak? I know we have some challenge there. Okay. Atma, you'd like to share anything?
Sure, I can
Wonderful.
try and share something. So on my side, okay, so like in terms of like pastimes, etc., I feel like I've been very fortunate to be able to serve Guru Maharaj for like many, many years. I mean, I've been around, for example, other devotees, etc., and they haven't had that opportunity to serve their spiritual master, especially being in a female body. It's not the same. And like with Guru Maharaj, it was very different. So like I got like loads of opportunity to serve him, and I wish I'd taken more opportunity to serve him as well. So I was just thinking like back when I think about when I finished my university degree, I was just thinking at that time, like, I mean, Guru Maharaj was always very personal. And that it brings back a memory that I just finished my degree and I'd met Guru Maharaj in South Africa. And he looked at me, and for some reason he knew that I just finished. And I don't know how he knew this. I'd actually taken an extra year to finish. And I was surprised that somehow he didn't ask me when I was originally supposed to have finished my degree, what I'm planning to do. But actually, when I finished my degree, then he all of a sudden asked me, he said, so I'm guessing you finished your studying now. What's your plan for the holiday? So I said, nothing much. So he says, I want you to come and stay with me for 2 weeks. And I was very surprised because in my mind, I always used to think, I'm like, being like in a male body is so nice because like you can serve the spiritual master, you can stay with the spiritual master, etc. But here Guru Maharaj himself in like asked me to come and stay like at the temple for 2 weeks and serve, etc. And at that time I remember I used to get opportunity to like really like travel with him, listen to, in all his classes, etc. And I remember one particular incident, and this will like kind of never go away from me because I'd made a big mistake. So I was serving him at that time and I was responsible for giving him his medication. And I remember, I think it was his heart medication. And I was about, I think I was either 18, 19, somewhere around there. I cannot exactly remember, but I was somewhere around there. And so what happened was I wasn't very vigilant. And that just taught me also how to be vigilant. So I gave him his medication and he had like a pill container. And I couldn't remember whether I gave him 1 tablet or 2 tablets. And what happened was there was tablets for the morning and there was tablets for the evening. And somehow when we looked at those tablets, the tablet wasn't there. And then he asked me, how many tablets did you give me? And all the devotees, the senior devotees gathered there. And there was Atri Prabhu and all of them from South Africa as well. And they asked me, how many tablets did you give? And I said, I recall giving 1 tablet. I think I had said 1 tablet. And they're like, where is the other tablet? I'm like, I gave whatever tablet was in there. And I remember at that time, Guru Maharaj could have scolded me like anything because it was a big problem, a big mistake that I'd made. But he just silently looked at me. And that silence kind of broke my heart as well. Because I realized I made such a big mistake. It could have really affected his health. But he didn't say anything to me. And at that point, I thought, you know what? He's going to maybe hate me for life, right? Because I made this big blunder. And the next moment, I kind of walked in front of him and he looked at me with love and compassion. And he just said, Hare Krishna, and like again, he just said, how's everything going? He had kind of forgotten about that. I was thinking, in the material world, when we make mistakes, right, you're kind of like held accountable for life for those mistakes. But with Guru Maharaj, it was like it was gone. He was back to normal, right? There was no like, like any grudge or anything. So that was one thing that really, really touched me. The other thing was, I always felt that he kind of knew our hearts very much. Like even when he gave a lecture, somehow it went straight like into my heart. As a teenager, I was kind of like, I don't want to call it an identity crisis, but I was like a tomboy kind of character. And I was struggling with the fact that, how am I going to be serve in a female body, etc. So one day it was in Lady Smith. I walked into a class and Guru Maharaj had just started speaking. So I bowed down. He looked straight at me and he said, "You are a spirit soul. You are not this body. Use this body to serve Krishna. As Krishna has made you, everything is wonderful. Just serve Krishna." Now, we've heard this philosophy many times that, you're a spirit soul, you're not a body, that kind of philosophy. But when Guru Maharaj said that, I'd never felt such an impact like that before in my life. I will say that it kind of changed my whole perspective, just even though it was a basic philosophy, but it was as if he was just directly saying something straight to me. That was something that had really like kind of like touched my heart. I'll say it had changed my life as well. Um, um, I have a lot of pastimes, but I'm not going to say all of them. Just towards the end, I remember like one of the last services that I'd done for Guru Maharaj was, so what had happened was, I think it was his last visit to South Africa, and he had come during the Gita Mahayagya. So Guru Maharaj was going to Priyavat Prabhu's ashram to stay in Potchefstroom. So at that time, Anusuya Didi was not able to go with him. So he asked, who's going to cook for me? Now, I had never cooked for Guru Maharaj before. I was a bit scared because Guru Maharaj had a particular diet. And I was worried, about spicing and all sorts of things. So I'd always helped, but I'd never cooked. So Guru Maharaj said, maybe Atam Darshini can cook. So he called me in and he said, have you cooked for me before? And I always had this desire, but like I was scared. So then I said, no, Guru Maharaj, I've not. So then he kind of like scolded me. He said, when are you ever like, when are you going to cook for me? Right? So then he told Anusuya Didi, he's a teacher right now how to cook, and she's going to cook for me in Potchefstroom. So then I'm thinking to myself, I'm kind of like on my own there. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, that kind of thing. So, and I was very slow with cooking. This thing really touched my heart. I must have given Guru Maharaj Prashadam an hour or two later than his normal time. And he sat there patiently waiting. No scolding, nothing. He just patiently waited. He said, whenever Prashadam is ready, just bring it to me. He was very patient with me. And that kind of like, like, I mean, I'd seen the scolding side as well of Guru Maharaj many times, but this caring nature of Guru Maharaj had just really like touched. And it just made me realize that Guru Maharaj knew I had this desire to cook, and he knew I would not get this opportunity again. So even though he had to forcefully give it to me, he gave me that opportunity. Another thing is, I always realize that Guru Maharaj knew past, present, and future. Like sometimes Guru Maharaj has said certain things to me. He's made me say certain vows, etc. And I used to think to myself, but he's never made, like even during my initiation, there was extra vows, etc., that he made me say, which others didn't have to say. And I always wondered, but why? When I think about it now, I realize it's because he was trying to protect me from so many different things, which I didn't see at that time. Even during our interactions, he said so many things. I could never understand, why did Guru Maharaj say this or that? Why me? Right. But now when I think about it, and I've made lots of mistakes over the years as well, but when I think about it, I realize why he said that. He could see my future. He knew me better than I knew myself. He knew what kind of personality I was. He knew what mistakes I will be making. So he was trying to protect me from that. So, and like I listened to lectures, etc. I haven't felt that the way when Guru Maharaj would say something, it would actually hit, or where I could realize that Guru Maharaj can actually see right through me. So those are just a few aspects that I remember like most from my interactions with Guru Maharaj, like over the other thousands of interactions. Hare Krishna.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Never heard you speak like this before, and so good, very good. So, are you able to share what the extra vows you took? You don't have to. You don't have to. It
Maybe
might
not.
maybe not.
I mean, okay, I'll just say, like, for example, he mentioned to me, he said, don't read. I used to like reading, for example, right? So he told me, don't read any useless literature, right? He made me vow, don't watch any television. Okay, I'll be honest, an open forum. I'm still not good with that. But I mean, in that sense, he would say, because he knew maybe, I'd get too attached, don't watch any, extra, things. He told me, for example, don't waste your time playing games like chess. And at that time, I remember I used to like chess, and he didn't know I liked chess. I was young, very young, but I mean, and I haven't played it ever since. But I mean, like those kinds of vows. So I feel like he knew that I could have become more entangled, like in all of that instead of Krishna conscious. Don't listen to mundane music, so which like is not normally a initiation vow. So those kinds of vows.
Okay. I thought it was going to say don't eat pizza or something,
No, nothing of that sort.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing, actually. Thank you for that. Really good. Nice offering. And we're expecting you at Madhu Mangal's place in July. Yeah? You can fly there because you look like a pilot. So
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Nice one. Actually, Uddhav, you're still here. Uddhav, are you able to speak? Oh, Karuna, I know.
Today,
Yes.
today is not the, I think today is not the right time and place for me
Okay.
to speak, to be honest. Yeah.
No
Sorry.
problem. No problem. No problem. Karuna, I know it's a little late. You're still with us, which is good. Are you able to speak, or you can even sing if you like?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Karuna.
My obeisances to all my God brothers and God sisters. Yes, I would like to sing a bhajan, Prabhuji.
Brilliant. Which would you like to sing?
The one of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that we sang previously. If you go on KK songs, you just search on Gurudev Boro Kripa Kori.
1 second. Yes, 1 second. Got it. Just to let devotees know, over the last 4 years, since we've been doing the Zoom sessions, Karuna has sang so many bhajans. And at the moment, she's singing the bhajans by Rupa Goswami. I've never heard these bhajans before, and I've heard a lot of bhajans. And they are the most extraordinary bhajans. Please do try to listen to them. Every time she sings, we put it on YouTube. And truly, these songs, these bhajans are so extraordinary in what Rupa Goswami is sharing with us. And thanks to Karuna for going through them one by one. It's amazing. So over to you, Karuna.
So amazing instructions by Guru Maharaj also. While I was studying classical music, so he knew how classical music is time consuming to practice and everything. So he just instructed that I shouldn't be too much involved in practicing it so deeply, but in fact I should be using my whatever I've gathered, my knowledge in really serving the Lord by singing bhajan. And now, yeah, I'm getting that opportunity to sing bhajans every day. So thank you for this opportunity, Nabi Prabhu. it's really wonderful.
It's you we're thanking. Actually, Guru Maharaj is definitely the inspiration. So fantastic, amazing. Okay.
So that's a tune that I have done before, so years back, so 26 years back, while I was expecting my first baby. So I just sang that during the Vyas Puja. And Guru Maharaj was a little bit anxious whether I'd be able to sing or not. But yeah, so with his mercy, it was done, and Guru Maharaj was very happy. So his mercy, yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Guru De Baro Kripa Kori Garavana Maje Gadrume Diya Chusthana Guru De Kripa Kori Garavana Maje Gadrume Diya Chusthana Agyalila More Brajen Bosi Harinama Koro Gana Guru De Kintu Kabe Prabhu Yogyatar Pibe Eda Sere Toya Kuri Chita Stira Habe Sakala Sohibo Ekante Baji Bohari Guru De Keshavaya Pane Jara Sukha Sange Abhyasa Hoilo Manda Nija Karma Doshe Ete Hoilo Brajanera Pratibanda Guru De Vardakya Kona Pancharoge Hata Kemone Bojiba Bolo Kandiya Kandiya Tomara Charane Puriyachi Suvifala Guru De Guru De Guru De Jaya Jaya Guru De Jaya Jaya Guru De Guru De Guru De Jaya Jaya Guru De Jaya Krishna Das Maharaj 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 Krishna Das Maharaj Jaya Krishna Das Maharaj Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kauna.
So the translation for this bhajan: Gurudev, because you are so merciful, you gave me a place in Godrum amid the woodlands of Goda, with this order to fulfill. Dwell here in this Vrindavan and sing the holy name of Hari. But when, O Master, out of your great mercy, will you bestow upon this servant of yours the spiritual competence to fulfill that order? When will my mind become tranquil and fixed? When will I endure all hardships and serve Lord Hari without distractions? Due to attachment to worldly pleasures in childhood and youth, I have developed bad habits. Because of these sinful acts, my body has become an impediment to the service of the Supreme Lord. Now in this old age, afflicted by fivefold illnesses, how will I serve the Lord? O Master, please tell me. I have fallen at your feet weeping, overwhelmed by anxiety.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, would anybody else like to share? Chitra, Manjari, somebody called Hare Krishna, Mahatma Prabhu, Mangala, Path, Ram Dulara Prabhu. Anybody else would like to share anything? So, if not,
Prabhu, can I read a poem that I'd written a while ago? If
sure.
I'm allowed.
How old were you when you wrote it? It's not going to put us to sleep. It's not a lullaby poem, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I need some sleep here. You're right. No. Please, sorry.
Okay, I had called it Sharanagati, the real surrender. Struggling in this vast desert of the material world, where everything seems to be selfishly stained, I know that forever my relationship with you, O Gurudev, will eternally remain. For time immemorial, wandering in the birth and death cycle, finding no way to escape the pain. But Krishna, so kindly and so mercifully, finally placed me under your protective reign. The qualities you possess are unlimited, just like the numerous stars in the skies, each one illuminating your pure devotion to Krishna, revealing lovingly through your divine eyes. I have personally seen how you never take credit for any spiritual acts that you perform. You so selflessly pass the glory back to your Gurudev, where you say the recognition truly belongs. Sometimes to others you appear to be harsh, but I have seen the deep care and love beneath. Only if they realize that you only want their welfare, they would immediately surrender to your lotus feet. Grateful I am that you harshly cut my great illusions, even though my false ego retaliates. For otherwise, again rotating in the cycle of birth and death, history I would recreate. Recently in my life, I've realized that the most difficult thing to do is surrender. Real Sharanagati means Guru and Krishna, I'm all yours, and any service you want, I shall render. O dearest Gurudev, to your Gurudev and Krishna, you have wholeheartedly surrendered your entire existence. I really beg you to help me do the same and remove from my eyes this false covering of pretense. I hear that by strong faith in Guru and Krishna, mountains and oceans one can cross. Even if in the strong tides of material existence, one is most dangerously tossed. My faith in both of you, O dearest Gurudev, is quite honestly currently very weak. Please help me to strengthen my faith, O dearest Master, so at least if not oceans, I can swim through a creek. Always repeating the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees, you help us bring Krishna into our hearts. I heard that that's what a true well-wisher always does. In our hearts, Krishna's deity he carves. You have never been afraid of speaking the truth, how hard and unpalatable it might be. For Guru and Krishna, I know if required, you would lay down your life on the battlefield. You so kindly shower your compassionate glance, which makes all the terror of material existence fly away. Your love and affection for us feels like on a cold winter morning the soothing sun's rays. Thank you for always caring for the true me entrapped in this body, the real soul. Thank you for always trying to remind me of the real and ultimate goal. On this most auspicious day of all with utter helplessness, I beg for your mercy to shelter me at your golden lotus feet for all eternity. I pray that one day in this lifetime I might be able to serve you in a way pleasing to you. And maybe, just maybe someday, I long to be a small, insignificant part of your eternal crew, begging to remain as a speck of dust at your beautiful golden lotus feet, your most fallen servant, Atam Darshini Devi Dasi.
Wow,
Wow.
amazing. Thank you so much. Very nice poem. Did you read it out to him? Did you write it when he was present? Oh, good.
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said I should write.
Have you written any more?
Yeah,
No.
you have such
Yes,
talent.
very, very good. Very, very good. Well done. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Um, and it's so nice when devotees share because it inspires others, you know, like you shared the different vows. It'll help others also avoid those things. So thank you for that. Anybody else would like to share anything? Now, Karuna, I know it's a little late and maybe it might be too late, but would you like to do the Nishinga Kavach? Sharing? Oh,
Yes, sure.
sorry, Uddhav, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I guess I'm just out of the train now at the railway station.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And I just wanted to say like that extra vow that you were saying, devotees share, it helps others also. So
Yes.
I'll share one vow which Guru Maharaj made me take.
Okay.
All of a sudden, like, at the time of my initiation, and I and Anand Shakti Didi, we were both getting initiated at the same time, and he made both of us say that. And that was that I will not watch dirty pictures and listen to dirty songs from radio and television.
Right.
So just wanted to share that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for
I
that.
always thought it was just me. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Very good. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. You can share anything else if you want, Uddhav. Up to you.
Can't, like, I don't know where to start and where to end. Can't really think of anything that I can say in a short time, Prabhuji. So I'm not really prepared today.
Well,
I thought I'll just listen.
must say something on your, on behalf of the devotees that you know what you're doing
Great project.
with the projects of Samadhi. It's really very, very good. You know, you've taken the initiative and excellent, excellent effort. You know, so just give us a quick update. Any where are we with?
Sure. Yeah, so with the Samadhi, it's all, sorry for the background noise. It's almost, I would say like 60-70% done.
Right.
The finishing will take a lot of time. The
Yes.
final and the third shipment of stones was supposed to reach Kalki Dham today in the
Right.
morning,
Right.
but it did not reach by the time I was there. I left in the afternoon, and I'm hoping it would have reached by now.
Right.
So yeah, I think in another month or so, the Samadhi temple should be complete if everything goes smoothly and there's no unexpected delays. But now when it comes to building, like making the Murti of Guru Maharaj, that is where the struggle is. We have tried multiple Murti artists and they've all tried their best. But it's not easy to make an exact replica, especially because we are trying to get it in the marble form, like a solid marble Murti and not something which is made from marble dust and resin. But anyway, that is the later stage. In fact, right now we're still trying to get the clay model right. We've not been able to do that. So yeah, that's work in progress. Please pray that it comes out accurate. So I think devotees' prayers would help.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well done. Yeah, I know it's very anxiety. It's a lot of anxiety, and this is good when we take anxiety on for the service of Guru and Govinda. Actually, it helps us advance in spiritual life. You know, it's very, very good. So well done, huh, Prabhu. Very good. So let's pray for everybody's protection, everybody's good health, so we continue serving Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and the lordships. So Karuna, over to you.
Rishi Lakshmi Dev ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. नरसिंह कवचं वक्ष्ये प्रह्लादेनोदितं पुरा सर्वरक्षाकरं पुण्यं सर्वोपद्रवनाशनं सर्वसम्पत्करं चैव स्वर्गमोक्षप्रदायकं ध्यात्वा नरसिंहं देवेशं हेमसिंहासनस्थितं विवृतास्यं त्रिनयनं शरदिन्दुशमाप्रभां लक्ष्म्यालिङ्गितवामाङ्गं विभूतिभिरुपाश्रितं चतुर्भुजं कोमलाङ्गं स्वर्णकुन्दरशोभितं श्रिया सुशोभितोरस्कं रत्नकेयूरमुद्रितम् तप्तकाञ्चन शङ्काशं पीतनिर्मलवाससं इन्द्रादिसुरमौलिष्ठा स्फुरन्माणिक्यदीप्तिभिः विराजितपदद्वन्द्वं शङ्खचक्रादिहेतिभिः करुत्मता च विनयात् स्तूयमानमुदान्वितं स्वरितकमलसंवासं कृत्वा तु कवचं पतेत् नरसिंहो मे शिरः पातु लोकरक्षात् सम्भव सर्वगोपीस्तम्भवास फलं मे रक्षतु ध्वनिं नरसिंहो मे दृशो पातु सोमसूनानिलोचन श्रितं मे पातु नरहरि मुनिवार्यस्तुतिप्रिय नासं मे सिंहनाशस्तु मुखं लक्ष्मीमुखप्रिय सर्वविद्यादिपापातु नरसिंहो रसनां मम वक्त्रं पाद्विन्दुवदन सदा प्रह्लादवन्दित नरसिंह पातु मे कण्ठं स्कन्धो भूभरणान्तकृत् दिव्यास्त्रशोभितभुज नरसिंह पातु मे भुजौ करौ मे देवा वरदो नरसिंह पातु सर्वतः हृदयं योगी साध्याश्च निवासं पातु मे हरि मध्यं पातु हिरण्याक्ष विदारण नाभिं मे पातु नरहरि स्वनाभि ब्रह्म संस्तुत ब्रह्माण्डकोटया कथ्यां यास्यस्यो पातु मे कथिं गोयं मे पातु गोयानां मन्त्राणां गुह्यरूपदृक् उरुमनोभव पातु जानुनी नररूपदृक् जाङ्गे पातु धराभार हर्ता योऽसौ निकेशरी सूरराज प्रद पातु पादौ मे नरहेश्वर सहस्रशीर्ष पुरुष पातु मे सर्वशस्तनु मनोग्रहपूर्वतः पातु महावीराग्रजोनित महाविष्णु दक्षिणे तु महाज्वालस्तु नैरित पश्चिमे पातु सर्वेषु दिशि मे सर्वतोमुख नरसिंह पातु वायाव्यां सौम्यां भूषणविग्रह ईशान्यां पातु भद्रो मे सर्वमङ्गलदायक संसारभत पातु मृत्योर्मृत्योर्निकेशरी इदं नरसिंह कवचं प्रह्लादमुखमन्दितं भक्तिमान्यपते नित्यं सर्वपापै प्रमुच्यते पुत्रवान् धनवान् लोके दीर्घायुरुपजायते यं यं कामयति कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति असंशयम् सर्वत्र जयमाप्नोति सर्वत्र विजयी भवेत् भूम्यन्तरिक्षदिव्यानां ग्रहाणां विनिवारणं वृश्चिकरोगसम्भूतविशापाहरणं परं ब्रह्मरक्षास्य याक्षाणां दुरोत्सारणकारणं भुजे वा तालपत्रे वा कवचं लिखितं शुभं कर्मूले धृतां येन सिद्ध्येयु कर्म सिद्ध्यय देवासुरमनुष्येषु स्वं स्वमेव जयं लभेत् एकसन्ध्यां त्रिसन्ध्यं वा यापाते नियतो नर सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं भुक्तिं मुक्तिं च विन्दति द्वात्रिंशतिसहस्राणि पातेषु धात्मनं ऋणं कवचस्यास्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धिः प्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा भस्माभिर्मन्त्रणं तिलकं बिभ्रयाद्यस्तु तस्य ग्रहभयं हरेत् त्रिवारं जपमानस्तु दातं वर्याभिमन्त्रस्य प्रशयेद्यो नरो मन्त्रं नरसिंहध्यानमाचरेत् तस्य रोगाः प्रणश्यन्ति ये चक्षुकुक्षि सम्भव किमत्र बहुनोक्तेन नरसिंहसदृशो भवेत् मनसा चिन्तितं यत्तु स तच्चाप्नोत्य संशयम् गरजन्तं गरजयन्तं निजभुजपतलं शोधयन्तं हतन्तं दीप्यान्तं तापयन्तं दिवि भुवि दितिजं क्षेपयन्तं क्षिपन्तं क्रान्तान्तं रोषयन्तं दिशि दिशि सततं संहरन्तं भरन्तं दीक्षान्तं पूरयान्तं करनिकरशतै दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्रीब्रह्माण्डपुराणे प्रह्लादोक्तं नरसिंहकवचं सम्पूर्णम् श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय श्री कृष्ण
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. And if anybody would like to share anything, you can. Otherwise, we can call it a day today. And Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna everyone.